Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing. Thank you so very much for joining me. It's Wednesday, so this is the update for July Daily. This is a collaboration with Making Memories with Melody here on YouTube. At the beginning of June, we started making junk journals, and then in July, we're going to use them to journal in every day, just like you would do a December daily. And the idea was, this is an interesting time in our world. We wanted to document what was going on. So if you want to join along, grab a Dollar Tree notebook or make yourself a junk journal or whatever. It's not too late to join us for July. And if you don't want to join, then you can just see how our projects evolve and get junk journaling ideas. I'm the rookie. Melody's an experienced junk journaler. It's fun to watch the contrast. In fact, this is the biggest project for junk journaling I've ever done. And for reasons I can't explain, I was brave or crazy enough to share it with you along the way. Let me show you what I've done this week. I don't know that it looks that different, but I'm really excited about the progress because I can see how it's coming together. One thing is I have a tub now that is embellishment focused. I've die cut numbers, which I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to number my pages. I will number them because otherwise I'll lose my place. But I don't want them to be all matchy-matchy like I did in my December daily. So what I might do is reach into my stash and get some thickers out, or I might use these same numbers to cut red or blue paper, something so there's contrast. I think I want contrast with my numbers so they stand out, and I don't want them consistent all the way through the book. But I cut enough so that I can get started, kind of get some momentum. I have some trims here, a bunch of stuff from the kit from Melodi. So I have all this wonderful texture and lusciousness. I have to use this for sure. And then I found, like, I call them like a paint smush in my room, and so I could use this for a big star die cut, or I could cut it for a pocket. I don't know, but I shoved it in here. I sprayed a tag with some Dilutions shimmer. So I have some things to help me layer up, and then I started fussy cutting some of the things that Melodi put in her kit, and I seem to have lost those somewhere in my house, but they will turn up by the time I need them, I'm sure. Let me show you what I have here. Also, I want to do a flip through because I haven't stitched this together, so that's my trick of using the video so I can keep track of how I wanted it. I know this is how I want it, but I haven't stitched it because I'm still learning. And I think yesterday I pulled some pages out and ran them through the sewing machine, and I might want to do more of that, or I might want to take a page apart and put gesso all over it and set it aside to dry. So we'll see. It's sort of a junk journal, art journal mix for me. On the inside, I have added this strange plastic piece that has been in my stash for, I would guess, like 2 decades. I don't even know where it came from. It was 12 by 12, and I cut it down, and I love it here because all the fun stuff shows through. I don't know how well it will stitch or hold up, but it's a junk journal, and I'm willing to try it. Then in my last video, I made some mixed media messes, but I was waiting for layers to dry, so I set them aside and came back a little. So I added a star, and I think the star is just archival ink. Same here. Then this trim, my friend Katie picked up in England last year when she was traveling, and she picked it up. It was like a little travel gift for me. It's navy polka dot. It's seam binding. So it has the fold. It is so perfect for junk journal borders. I was planning to stitch on it, but it was just so darn cute the way it was. I didn't change a thing. I just glued it on there with art glitter glue and left it. And if it starts to fade out or come off, I'll stitch it. This is a bag that I bought stamps in because I like the texture. So you can see I've added more layers since the last time you saw it. That's because I was trying to round out. I now have 3 full signatures. And I think I needed 3 because of the size, because I made my cover so giant. I didn't need 3 for 31 days. And for those of you who are still learning, this is what we call a signature, a set of pages fold it in half, and it will be sewed. So I'll run thread and sew to the cover through this one, and through this one. 3 times. I'll have 3 strips of stitching on the outside of my book. And I'll probably show you that later. This week isn't a process video because I was junk journaling 3 minutes here, 10 minutes here, spray some stuff, set it down to dry. Oh, grab a piece of paper, glue this on, run something through the sewing machine. You do not have to have an hour to craft. You just need to believe it. Sometimes you put it off because you say, oh, I don't have time to have fun, or I don't have... It's like when you say, I need to vacuum the front room today, but you put it off until 7 p.m. You can do it. Just fit it in. So that's how I was doing it. So that's why I don't have a process video for you. Here we go. Showed you this. I sprayed this with shimmer spray and a stencil. I think you saw that last time. And I hit this one with pinking shears. It was boring. This is new paper that I picked up in the hall. Loved it for this. I stitched on this. You'll notice I have red thread on this side. And the thread on this side is like a black or a brown. I don't load my sewing machine the same because I'm lazy, let's be honest. So what I do is I put a bobbin in there and then I change the top thread. So my top thread is red and my bobbin, the sewing machine is from Katie. It's a new one and it's fabulous, new to me. My bobbin seems to be some sort of variegated cream and brown or black thread. I don't care and it's great. Sometimes I switch the paper in the sewing machine. I'll show you one. But then I have more interest. And then I don't have to change my bobbin all the time. I can change my top thread in like 2 seconds. But, you know, winding a bobbin takes a bit. This was one of my mop-up papers, and I used it. This was a brand new paper. Showed in my haul. Here's my paper you've seen. Stitched on this side too while I was at it. Had it in the sewing machine. Okay, so here's an example. I stitched the red right down the line, and then the other side, you could totally tell it's not red. That adds more interest. It's more fun. Maybe it would have been white or navy if I wasn't lazy, but that's okay. Still different. I'm just flipping through real quick so that I have video of the sequence, but also I'm looking for new things that I did this week to show you. Oh, the other thing I did this week, let me back you out a little. I backed you out so you can see, is I have put this ruler right here. This is not the missing ruler. It's a different one. I trimmed my signatures down. So now they actually fit in the cover. So I'm ready to sew them in. And you'll notice they look more like a book. If I wanted to, I could have left the top uneven and longer. I wouldn't leave them sticking out the bottom because I like to have them sitting on my counter against the wall right here, my junk journals. So I don't want them so that they have to lay down. But had I been thinking, I might have left it so that some stuff stuck out the top. But I can always embellish it and then stuff will stick out the top. So I did that this week also. Ooh, I like this one. These tickets were in the kit from Melodi. She put those in her kit that she sells on melodymade.com. Melodi with an I. So I took the sewing machine and stitched it here onto this fabric that I love. And I couldn't decide. I could have used this as an embellishment, but I just really wanted it in my book. So I'm going to try it. I have not done a fabric page before, but I think I can. Glued that on right there. Okay, so here's an example of I strategically chose how I put the paper in the machine when I went to sew. I wanted the tags stitched on here, but I didn't want the red on this side because it already had red. It would have gotten lost. So I just held the tickets there and put it in the sewing machine upside down. So I got my red on here for fun contrast and my bobbin thread down here. Does that make sense? So when you load 2 different colors, you can control it and put the contrast where you want. It's just a lazy coincidence. I don't think I thought of that originally. I think I just started out that way and it happened. I put the card here as a tuck spot. The card came in the kit. I don't know if I'm going to do a lot of tuck spots. In a journal that I use on a daily or regular basis, I have a lot of tuck spots because I tuck in things I'm going to do, things I want to keep, things I should have done, paper clips, that sort of thing. I'm always adding this and that. But in my July daily, I don't think I'm going to tuck a lot of loose things. I think if I have tags and embellishments and that sort of thing, I'm going to make them stick to the page so when I pick it up 5 years from now, they don't fall out. But I don't know. I'm still thinking. Like I said, this is a big brand new project for me. And when you make something like this, you can do it any way you want. That's the beauty of making it yourself. So there are my signatures and I am ready to go for July. And I kind of wish we'd started last weekend, or maybe I'd waited to do fun things, because I did a couple things last weekend for the first time in months that are part of my routine. But the thought process is things I do in July will likely be things that are important to me, because as things open up, I'm not going to do things I don't want to do, right? I'm going to do the most important. I don't know if my county will continue to open up. We might have a backslide and a change, but either way, I could use it as a daily gratitude journal in July. Whatever happens, it'll be fun. This is my book. I hope you're excited to see how it goes. I will share some pages in July, but sharing a daily journal gets tricky because I have friends who don't want where we went, their names and everything we did necessarily shared on the internet, and relatives that are probably like that. I have some who couldn't care less. So I will tell you about crafting days and all sorts of things that I know that Katie and Andrea and Noni don't care about. Thanks for watching. Be sure and check out Melodi's video. I'm sure we'll get great ideas on things I should be doing. Bye-bye.